MSC, Middle School Chemistry. This is Unit 8. This is our last unit of the semester. And this is Lesson 3, okay? This is Lesson 3. We did, actually. Notes for 1 and 2 are both on YouTube. Okay, you can check them out, including the demo that I did for number 1, Lesson 1. All right. You're 0 for 3. I've been keeping track for the last, 6 weeks. So, here we go. When we're talking about chemical reactions, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, how do scientists know what's going to happen? And the answer is, they have observed different combinations of things, and they've defined certain rules. Okay? So really, if you were to get into more advanced chemistry, you would see that there is a whole slew of different types of reactions, types. Okay? However, when you get into high school, there are really 5 main types. I'll list them for you now. There's synthesis, decomposition, combustion, single replacement, double replacement. 5 main types of reactions. These are the ones you focus on in high school because, for the most part, they're predictable. We can predict what's going to happen. They're easy to perform, okay, and they give you the basic gist of how a chemical reaction works. However, there's a whole slew of chemical reactions that are more complex than this. The ones that we're going to talk about today are decomposition and synthesis. Okay, let's write these words out, write these in your notes, and let's see if we can't break down what they mean just by looking at them. The 2 words are actually common words that we use in our own language. Okay, so they shouldn't be new to you. Okay, and there's a call. Hello? She is not. She is in another classroom somewhere in the building. Let's see, in an hour and a half? Hour. I don't, because they moved around this morning a little bit. She's either in Mr. Collins' room or Mrs. Cunningham's room. All right, thanks. Okay. Synthesis. Synthesis. What does that word mean? Can you think of any words that might be similar to synthesis? Yes. Synthesize. Synthesizer. Okay, the whole in the music, right? You got the funky noises, you get synthesizers. Bands that are really famous for one band very famous right now, Owl City. Owl City, most of their music is done on synthesizer. Okay, a lot of other bands also use the same kind of technology. Okay, what does a synthesizer do? Any of you music nuts? Okay, I'm not familiar. What does this mean? What do you think? What does it mean? Yeah. Well, I'm trying to bring it down to my level. Or up to my level, whatever. Synthesizers kind of put together different notes, different music in different ways. Okay? So to synthesize. Okay, so here's the other thing. Let's say you're in a business, okay, and you make something that's synthetic. Similar word. Okay, synthetic. What does that mean? Yeah.
Doesn't it mean like alike, but it's not the same thing?
Okay.
Synthetic ice.
Okay, synthetic ice. All right, what else? Yeah.
Made of a different material.
Okay, made of a different material. Okay, synthetic. So let's say I have synthetic oil versus oil that comes out of the ground. What's the difference? Yeah. It was made. Okay, key word that keeps coming back here, made. Okay, and how do you make something? You take one thing, you take another thing, and you do what?
Put them together.
Okay, you put them together. So synthesis literally means to combine. Okay, so let's write that down. Okay, now decomposition. Okay, so so if something is decomposing, okay, what's happening to it? Yeah, it's breaking apart. Okay, breaking down. Not breaking bad. Okay, breaking down to different pieces, into parts. Okay, so if your car is decomposing, it is probably not functional anymore. If you are decomposing, then that's a long way from now and you are probably deceased.
Actually,
If your bread is decomposing, okay, then it might change color. It might turn a nice warm fuzzy green color, okay? So decomposing means to break down.
Why is like blue cheese good, but like moldy bread bad?
What do you mean? Moldy cheese good?
Like blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
Like that's like I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying
It
that
depends on what the, when something is decomposing, does anyone know what natural organism is mostly responsible for decomposition? Mold is a type of this, yeah. Okay, fungi actually does this. Yes, that's a true statement. Fungi and what else? Yeah, bacteria. Bacteria are a huge part of the decomposing process. They oftentimes will break down something and produce methane gas. Okay, this happens in your body, in your intestines. Your body actually needs bacteria to break down food. So your body, okay, actually requires bacteria to function. Without bacteria, you wouldn't be able to digest your food. You wouldn't be able to break it down. And then you would have a serious case of constipation. Okay, and that would not be good. Okay, so decomposing matter is important for your very function, at least bodily. Synthesis. This is also important, putting things together, right? Our body has to make things, okay? Has to make certain sugars, and it makes fat and stores it in places in our body. So synthesis is also really important, okay? The putting together of things. All right. In science, we oftentimes also, just like in algebra, use letters to represent these things. So I'm going to go ahead and use letters first, then we're going to transition to elements to represent these two equations. Okay, this is a very common way to show these two. So let's start with synthesis. Okay, let's say that I have X and it's reacting with Y. These are not real elements. They just represent some type of element somewhere. They're going to react to produce. Okay, what do you mean XY? You mean like X plus Y?
no,
Just XY. Okay, so we see XY. So they're coming, this is not by any means what algebra actually is. You cannot add two things and it automatically turns into multiplication. This is just a representation of a chemical reaction. So, okay, so I'm taking object X or element X, I'm combining it with element Y, and it forms XY, which is totally different. It's like taking hydrogen gas and combining it with oxygen gas to produce water. Hydrogen gas and oxygen gas, totally different than water. Hydrogen gas is flammable. You don't want it inside you. Okay, oxygen gas in very pure quantities can cause combustion. That's also not necessarily a good thing, though we use oxygen on an everyday process for respiration, breathing. But XY, water, totally different. We're made up of lots of it. 90-some% of our bodies are made up of just hydrogen and oxygen together to form water, an entirely new chemical. You just got to pay attention. Okay, so you're putting two things together. It's like putting flour and eggs and sugar, and then you're making dough. And then you bake it, and it turns into something totally new. Okay, so What can you say, 3? Do you think there could be 4? 5? Does it have to be just 2? No.
Wait, for those ones that you did yesterday, whenever like one of them was like HCl plus the other one. So did you already have to do a chemical reaction to produce HCl to do that?
Can any of you think of a substance? You may have heard about this substance in biology or last year with Mrs. Miller, where a substance that has 3 different elements in it. 3 different elements. Bismuth is a single element, my friend. It's not the go-to answer. I'm saying a substance. Man, I'm running at everything. A substance that has 3 elements. Can anyone think of a substance that has 3 elements? Dylan, look behind you.
Magnesium fluoride.
Okay. That was a little too simple. There's sugar. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. How many different types of sugar do you think there are?
20.
That there is just one type of sugar. Okay. Does it say there what type of sugar it is?
It says table sugar.
Read careful. Say it louder, Dylan. Sucrose. There's glucose. Our bodies use that. Sucrose. Fructose, like high fructose corn syrup. There are different types of sugar. What do you think is the difference between the different types of sugar? Casey. Wonderful. It's the number of atoms they have. They all have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, but in different quantities. So glucose, sucrose, fructose. Okay. Dextrose is another one.
Did you say sugars have really long chains?
Something like that.
Is that why?
All right, next, decomposition.
It's XY.
At your tables right now, see if you can come up with a similar expression for decomposition. Okay? So if synthesis is putting together and decomposition is breaking apart, see if you can come up with an algebraic statement using X and Y to represent decomposition. Do that right now. Okay? Remember, no equal signs. You have to use an arrow.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You have to use an arrow.
Like the distributive property.
Now, there's no distributive property here, my friend.
Well, when I heard arrow, I just thought,
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's the table?
I had died. I had died. No, I didn't. I had died. No, I didn't. I had died. No, I didn't. Kappa see you. The Kappas see you. The Kappas, they see you.
Wait, you can only say iodide though if it's with something else.
I would burn my ears on.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you?
You ever heard the sodium song? The sodium song? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Na na na. N-A. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Be all that you can be. The beryllium slogan. Okay. Decomposition. Decomposition. What did we come up with? Yes, Casey.
XY equal or arrow.
All right.
X plus Y.
X plus Y.
Or the Z. Yeah,
Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay?
Could you do like if it's X Y Z arrow to X Y plus Z? What? Oh yeah.
Say what, huh?
So like say it's like X Y Z.
Mm.
And then it goes to X.
So you're starting with 3 elements in one substance, and it's breaking down. Sure. You could also have, okay, so let's look at that example. X, Y, Z. It could break down a couple of different ways. It could actually break down if it breaks down at all, it's decomposition. So it could be XY plus Z. That would be also okay.